Kaz Mac alongside Miss T. The time is now 7 minutes past the hour of 5. Maccabee right under me. Health is wealth. As you know, this is the hour that you have been waiting for. We have our guest live in the studio. His name is Steve McKoy. Now, Steve himself, oh my gosh, as you know, it's Black History Month. Mm-hmm. And guys, this man, he's a qualified fitness trainer, should I say, NLP, programming and life coach. Steve became an avid health explorer searching for genuine and reliable information on natural alternatives for chronic illness. Steve runs a health club with some amazing, highly qualified individuals in the world of natural health to address chronic illness, which many of us seem unaware of. So welcome, Steve, to the show. Big up yourself. We have Steve McKoy in the studio. Big up yourself, man like Steve.
Man like Steve in the house.
Man like Steve. What's going on, bro?
Wow, that's some intro.
Listen, when you come to Now Chat Show, we're just enough like that. We get excited about no ordinary people. You understand what I'm saying? Like, no ordinary woman, no ordinary man. You understand? Hey. So that's how we do it. Yeah.
I appreciate that.
So that's why you're here. So how was your journey in? How was it?
I set out early enough so to avoid anxiety and stress, so it was absolutely fine.
Yeah.
But listen, before I even get started, let me just say, I want to commend both of you. I tuned into your last show with the two ladies, I think, from education.
Yes. Oh yeah.
And oh, that was amazing. Having
wicked.
Been someone who worked in education myself for 18 years.
Right.
In further education and had a lot of interaction, particularly with our young black boys and the issues that they faced. And hearing those two ladies speak about their own experiences, it brought a lot back. So I want to commend what you're doing for bringing people like that onto the show and really highlighting certain issues that are out there.
Thank you so much. Oh gosh, we're getting props now. What? I think we should give ourselves a round of applause.
Yes.
What do you think?
Well done.
Listen, sometimes you have to give yourself a round of applause because you know what? If you don't do it, somebody else is going to do it. Okay, so, all right. So, Steve, we're going to go straight into your business. Okay, so tell us about yourself.
Okay, so if I was to start my story, what I tend to say that I think with everybody, generally, I think we all have what are called defining moments in our lives, right?
Yeah.
And those defining moments can take us down particular roads. And I think the fact that one of my, what I call defining moments was, my father dying when I was only 6 years old. He was only 47. He died of a cancer called multiple myeloma, which is a form of blood cancer. And it wasn't very well known at that time, but being an only child and my mother being really the only person that I had around me at that time, it kind of set the path in terms of my experience and very early experience of what chronic illness was about. So I grew up without a father, and then his brother, who was my favorite uncle, lived in Birmingham. I spent a lot of time with my uncle, and I watched him, who was this man was the life and soul of the party. You walked in and he was always vibing and very, very active, and he was an amazing man. And I watched him be diagnosed. He was diagnosed with diabetes, and from that diagnosis, he had to have a leg amputated.
Oh my gosh!
And that just, for me, first of all, it was a crazy experience just seeing what he was going through, right? And then he was still, trying to do his thing and do the best he could, but then he had a second leg amputated. And off the back of that just ended up being too much. And he ended up passing away. And so now I was, it was almost like, wow, this is another experience of this whole chronic illness. But then, as I explained, being an only child, my mom really being my world in essence, right? I spent, she lived with me. We spent, I would someone who I would see every single day. And some years later, my mother was then diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. Mm-hmm. But in addition to that, she suffered from glaucoma, which runs through the family. So just
What's
saying
glaucoma?
out there,
What's
so
that?
glaucoma is affects the eyes,
Right.
and it's where there's such severe nerve damage within the eyes that the pressure builds up in the eyes, and it can lead to blindness.
Right.
And it's something that is generally hereditary. So a lot of people who have it who don't realize they have it in their family and they need to, to have regular checks. So I have regular checks even now because it's something that runs through my family. But unfortunately, my mother became blind as a result of glaucoma. So we now had a situation where she had Alzheimer's disease. She was blind from glaucoma. She also had a heart condition. And then later on in life, she was also diagnosed with diabetes. So I became her full-time carer. And during this time, I became fascinated with finding out more and more information about natural health, how it works. Because my mother was on medication, I would approach the doctors to speak about her medication and trying to reduce the amount that she was on. And they were looking at me as if I was like some madman. Why would you want to do that? And I couldn't understand why it wasn't something they would be interested in doing. And so my journey had begun in terms of natural health and exploring natural health and looking into those things. And that took me then also down a journey of whilst working, I came across a guy who had done some work with previously, and his name is Derek. And Derek was an interesting man. We were having a catch up one day, and he said to me, he asked me how I was doing, and vice versa. I said to him, everything okay? How are you doing? And he said, you know what, Steve? 3 years ago, I was given 3 months to live. And so when someone says that to you, you think, hold on a moment, you're still here 3 years later, you're given 3 months to live. I need to hear your story.
Of course.
And so he had been to the Royal Marsden Hospital. We know it's one of the most well-known cancer hospitals in this country. And they had diagnosed him with throat cancer. And he had had chemotherapy, he'd had a range of different treatments. And they said to him, look, it hasn't worked, there's nothing more we can do for you now. So they effectively sent him home to die. In sending him home to die, he was then taken under the wing of some friends who said, no, we're not accepting that. So they took him to a naturopath. And when they took him to the naturopath, he had a number of tests done, and they got to the root cause of what this was, and they changed a lot of his lifestyle issues. So he was very stressed, he was very, very busy. He changed a lot of that. A year later, so remember, he's been given 3 months to live. A year later, he's still here, he's still there. He walks into the Royal Marsden Hospital. They check for the tumour in his throat. The tumour's no longer there.
What?
And now, the Royal Marsden Hospital say to Derek, we want you to tell us what it was you did.
Yeah.
Because this is extremely unusual, right?
It's a miracle.
So what I want to add is that I had this conversation with Derek 9 years ago. You add the 3 years to that, so that's 12 years that he has lived beyond the 3 months that he was given. And I had lunch with him pre-COVID. He's absolutely fine, right? So it just shows what's possible. And I'll finish by saying that in terms of, because all of these are defining moments and have been defining moments for me. And I'll finish by saying that a month after my mother passed away, one of my best friends was diagnosed with breast cancer. By now, I was on the road really to having links and contacts with people who could help in an alternative way. And of course, when Derek explained to me his situation and the naturopath that he had used, well, I got the details of that naturopath,
Of
right?
course, yeah.
And so when my friend was diagnosed with breast cancer, that's one of the people that we actually went to see.
Right.
And she was diagnosed. They wanted her to have a mastectomy. She chose not to do that, and actually 13 months to the date of being diagnosed, she's cancer-free without having had to have a mastectomy.
Awesome.
And this set me on the road to doing what it is that I now do. So I'll leave it there for now.
Mate,
I love it.
that's just
I
like,
love it.
This pimple and all them things.
So
there,
when I'm
just
telling
like,
people, you do not have to cut yourself. You don't have to go and have chemo to get yourself well. Thank you so much, Steve, because I say it all the time, but people just don't want to take that leap of faith and believe in themselves and believe in people like yourself. They'd rather believe in unfortunately, GPs and doctors, and they don't always have the answer.
But what we will say, though, Ms. T, is it's also understandable because of the information that they're exposed to and that is provided to them. So a lot of people, for example, don't realize or have never heard of something called the Cancer Act. So there's just like we have various acts of parliament. There's a Cancer Act that was passed in Parliament in 1939. It's called
in 1939.
1939, the 1939 Cancer Act, and that act, it prohibits anybody who has used alternative therapies to talk about it.
Yeah.
Which is why you don't hear people talking about it.
Right, because of the act.
Because if you do, you can be prosecuted. You can even be imprisoned.
Jeez.
That's what happened to Dr. Sabi, right?
Yeah.
So there are reasons why
people have to tread
very carefully. You can never use words like
cure. Yeah.
Heal.
Yeah.
No, you can't use those words. So absolutely, people
that's
have to
so
be careful.
interesting that that there is such an act from 1939 and the form of languages that you cannot use, even though somebody has been cured, even though somebody has been healed. You know what I mean? But why is that? Why is that all because of money?
Well, cancer. Many people refer to it as an industry, as a business, because the drugs that are used for cancer in the form of things like chemotherapy, radiotherapy, are huge business, right? And so there's a lot of money involved, and that is going to, without doubt, have an impact on what is really out there, what's available, and that's why. And we'll come on to, no doubt, what it is. I'm going to be developing and launching in the new year, but. What I kind of wanted to do in essence really is to what I kind of call leveling the playing field to a certain degree, just allowing people to understand and realize that there are alternatives and there are options. That doesn't mean that you don't go down the medical route or you don't, because for some people that's where they feel safest. And listen, I get that if that's what you want to do. But it also means that for me, it's actually about, if that's the route that you choose to go down, just ensure that it's a mindful decision. It's one that you are clear about, and it's one that you really want to go down, as opposed to just being pushed down or forced down that road. Yeah,
that's interesting. So we're going to move on to the next question. So tell us about the Raw McKoy. What is the Raw McKoy?
So the Raw McKoy is a platform which started a couple of years ago, and the whole idea behind it.
When you say a couple of years ago, can you give a date?
Yeah, so where are we? Because I think I've lost a couple of years since the whole COVID thing, so it's probably more than a couple of years ago. Where are we? 2021 now, so it started like 2018. And the whole idea behind it really was to provide a platform where people could have access to alternative information.
Yeah.
And that means that, and this is specifically around the area of chronic illness, right? So that means we include things like cancer and diabetes and strokes and arthritis and dementia, obviously particularly in light of my mother. Alzheimer's, stroke, dementia is an area that I'm extremely passionate about. And the whole concept and idea behind it is where it's moved on to and will be the Raw McKoy Health Club in the early part of next year. So we're launching the beginning of February, and the whole idea there is I recognize that there are a lot of people who have chronic conditions. In fact, I think 15 million people in this country have some form of chronic illness or chronic condition. And there are a number of people, not just in the UK, but worldwide, who have specialist knowledge in terms of how to deal with a lot of the chronic conditions, because they're looking at the root cause of these issues as opposed to the symptoms. And what the Raw McKoy Health Club will do, it will be a platform, will be a space where people who have a chronic condition will pay a monthly or an annual subscription to have access to the specialist information, knowledge, and support of these health professionals.
Right.
And some of the health professionals, just to give you examples that I've partnered with, are phenomenal. I mean, I've partnered with a doctor in the US called Dr. Jodie DeShaw. She reversed her own son's autism. People don't even realize that autism is something that can be reversed.
That's crazy.
And it's incredible. We had a conversation for an hour on the phone. She explained to me how her son, between the ages of 18 months of age and 8 years old, she said she literally lost her son because he was just really staring at her blankly. And she upped her skills to be able to learn more and more about this. And by the time he was age 18, he was then living independently and had, at the point at which I spoke to her, he'd been accepted into 3 medical schools in the US. And so she's now extremely passionate about helping other parents to be able to help their own children who have autism. I've partnered with a gentleman called Max Tomlinson, who is a naturopathic doctor from Australia. He's here now in the UK, and he specializes in a protocol which was developed by a doctor called Dr. Dale Bredesen. Dr. Dale Bredesen has been in the US, has been reversing Parkinson's disease, dementia, Alzheimer's disease for years. Many people don't realize this or talk about him. Absolutely. And he's been doing this. So what he's done is he's gone around the world teaching people the protocol and how to do it. And Dr. Max Tomlinson is one of the people that he's taught how to do this. And Dr. Max Tomlinson is one of my partners. And so I have some phenomenal people on board who have been doing some amazing work. Some of them are medical doctors. Some of them are people who have just been able to reverse their conditions themselves. I have a gentleman called Lyndon Wissart who, he's a chef, but he had type 2 diabetes and he reversed it himself. And he now is passionate about teaching people how to do just that, especially using the skill set of being a chef. He goes on to teach people, how to
cook food and everything else, and making sure they eat the right food, etc. Because a lot of it is in our food as well. It's a lifestyle, right?
Absolutely. Diabetes is not a disease; it's a symptom of what's actually going on in the body. Yeah.
So, what is the main factor? What is the main key element to diabetes? Because I've always understand it to be something that is genetic, it's passed down. It's like when they say about blood pressure, high blood pressure, it's genetic. Because I've had high blood pressure, and I've had it since I was in my mid-20s, and I've been on medication. I don't really take medication, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I go to the gym and I've changed my diet.
I've seen her in the gym.
You see me at the gym. However, but I've been told you're gonna have to be on this medication for the rest of your life. It's genetic, there's nothing you can do about it. So how does one obviously in regards to your health club, etc., you're able to get the information, etc., but how would you advise somebody like me how to reverse it?
So first of all, let me be clear here in that I don't profess to be a health professional or expert in terms of providing that level of advice. When I was setting up the health club, one of the things that I decided was that rather than myself go out to learn to be an expert in a specific area, because this is one of the things that I was seeing. I recognized that there was some phenomenal work being going on in the area of cancer over here, and then over here there's some amazing work in terms of diabetes. Over here it was arthritis, but I didn't see anyone who was actually pulling it all together and having that under one roof. So anyone who was, Miss T, you may have a family member who has diabetes, but Kaz, you might have someone in your family who has dementia. You're having to go and look in various places for this information. What I wanted to do was to kind of pull this all together. It's under one roof, and so people then feel supported. So to answer your question there, one of the things that I would do is really refer you to one of the specialists.
Right,
and that's the whole idea and the concept of what it is that I do. Rather than being the specialist, I know who the specialists are. Do you understand? And so, I'll just tell a very, very quick story. I've just been supporting someone recently in Trinidad. So she's been out there. She unfortunately her physical health deteriorated as well as her mental health started to deteriorate, and she felt very isolated. She's out there effectively by herself, and what I was able to do was to get her on a conference call with a naturopath from the UK, who through the dialogue and the conversations they were having was able to support her and improve her physical health. And then, even as recently as just a few days ago, we then started to work on her mental health, because one of the partners that I work with is a psychotherapist. He was able to get on the phone and start dealing with her mental health. She sent me a message within 20 minutes of speaking to him, just saying that this has changed her life. One conversation with him has done that. And so we have a situation where her physical health is now improved, and her mental health is on the way to being improved. And that's somebody in the Caribbean. So for me, it's looking at how we can reach different people in different ways and finding the correct health that they actually need, and is going to benefit them moving forward.
But would you not also say that, that's a beautiful story that you've just shared, but would you not say that the person has to be ready for that as well, to be able to receive it? Do you know what I mean? Because, if you go and see a specialist and you've already made up in your mind, there's no help, there's no this, whatever he's going to say to me is not going to help me, then more than likely that's going to be the outcome.
I think you are 100% right there, Kaz, and I believe that part of, again, the reason why the Royal McCoy has been set up is because I recognize that in general, at least my view, my opinion here is that most of us know what we need to do. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that, I'm talking about the fundamentals and the basics, right? So, what does that mean? That means that we generally know that we should be eating certain types of food.
Yeah, gosh.
And maybe avoiding certain types of foods. At least 80%. My rule is an 80-20 kind of rule. That's not always the case, right? For some people, but an 80-20 kind of rule. So most of the time we know what we should kind of be eating and things we should kind of be avoiding. We know we should be doing some form of exercise and moving more, right? And that's the whole thing as well. So even with that, the idea that we go to the gym for maybe an hour or two each day and then come back and we can just lounge around on the sofa, that's not the thing. Yeah. It's actually trying to, and also trying to move regularly throughout the day. And the other thing is, and one of the main things that I tend to focus on is the whole area of stress and managing that, because I realize that within this society that we're now part of, is that stress has become normalized. Yeah. I speak to so many people and they don't even realize that they're stressed until we're having a conversation. Yeah. Businesses and workplaces encourage you to multitask and to take on more and more and more things, and do
a 3-man job for less money.
There you go, right? And we're taking more and more of that on. And so I kind of think that we tend to know the things that we should be doing and not doing. What where I feel we may be fall down or lack is the how. So we know what, we even know why we should be doing it, but how do we now incorporate that within our busy lives, within our day, within all these other things that we're trying to juggle? And I think that's one of the things that people tend to struggle with, and so invariably it ends up not happening.
Yeah.
And so what I tried to do is to, with the help of the psychotherapist Michael Adams, and also with his knowledge around habit creation and habit change, and that's something that I've worked on as part of studying neuro-linguistic programming and so on and so forth. That's something that we work on together, and we do things like podcasts and so on to bring that information out to people so that they can understand, if I understand the what and the why, and now I know how, then hopefully that will make a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you're given a practical solution, aren't you, to an extent, for them to be able to take those further actions.
Give them some steps, some simple steps that they can take away with them, and that they can get started on straight away.
That is so fabulous. We've got so many questions for you, Steve.
And it's 5:31, guys. How are you enjoying the show so far? I'm just feeling really I feel like this is going to be a great reasoning.
It's going to be awesome. I'm so excited. My cheeks are aching.
Hi.
So, your health is your wealth. Do you believe that statement?
I think that not only do I believe it, but I like to feel that I live by that. Absolutely. I come across all these people, and you guys tell me if this has been your experience as well. But I come across so many people who are making these amazing plans for the future in terms of the house they're going to get and the car they're going to get and the holidays that they're going to go on and the money that they're going to make. And they focus on all these things. And there's one thing that they're kind of leaving behind with the expectation that it's just going to click into place and that's going to happen. And that's their health. And I see it being taken for granted on so many levels. And I just think, wow, you know, if the energy that you put into these other things, if just a fraction of that could be put into your health,
yeah,
it would be incredible.
I totally agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. I think that a lot of, for example, a lot of people, when you say to them, you know, maybe if you just change your diet a little bit and just, they don't want to. They say, but why? I like that. And I said, because in the long term, this is what it's going to impact you this way, you know? And that's what I find a lot of the time, because I've learned how to, I got rid of fibroids. Can I say it like that? I had fibroids. Now I don't have fibroids. I had lots of other things. I had arthritis. Now I don't have arthritis.
So I'm interested. Ooh, it sounds like Miss T could be a partner of the Neuro McKoy here.
Yeah, you got a specialist. You're officially been recruited.
So tell us how. I'm interviewing you.
Yes.
Tell us how you did this.
Okay, so when it came to my fibroids, I knew that it was part of the issues were my diet, the products that I was using. For example, at the time, I was processing my hair, so in my early 20s. And it literally, the way it happened, I knew that I had them. They were very painful. As a young woman, I had other young female friends who, one lady was with child and she'd stopped processing her hair. So she would process her hair probably every 6 weeks. And then when she was with child, she stopped. So I said to her, well, how come you're not perming your hair? Like, you normally have it bone straight. And she said, oh, because the chemicals affect the baby. And I said to her, what do you mean? She was like, yeah, the chemicals poison the baby. And that was my moment of, hold on a second, if it's going to hurt the baby, then it's already been hurting you. And that sent me through, the research of what the product that I was putting on my head and how it was being absorbed through my head into my bloodstream and affecting, my uterus, my ovaries, things that I needed to use because I wanted to have a family in the future.
Amazing.
And so, that journey was amazing. And subsequently, I've done it twice. So I know that it's not, because you, like you said, habits, you fall back into some habits, and that's what I did. So I'd done it the first time, then I got into some bad habits and I got some more, and then I just done it again, and I haven't gone back, and I don't want to go back.
Tell me about the differences and changes that you've made to your diet you talked about.
Hold on, so Steve, you really take over the show. My man just no. You carry on. We are here. All right, I'll give you this 5 minutes.
Is that right?
Continue. Yeah. Go on.
So
Get comfortable.
Get real comfortable.
One of the things that I done first of all was to stop having dairy. I stopped having dairy. I cut down on just not having meat. So I stopped eating pork first. This is when I was about 25. Stopped eating pork first, and then I naturally progressed to eliminating those over the period. I also stopped using a lot of products in terms of, so I found out about the hair products that I was using that was poisonous to my body, but there were other products. So, for example, some of the detergents that I was using, some of the perfumes that I was using, conditioners and things like that. So
deodorants?
Yes. So I removed the aluminium out of the deodorant, and I also...
Love this woman.
I changed my potware, my cookware.
Oh, amazing.
So for me, when I was wanting to have my first child, I went to a specialist and I had a look at my blood underneath the microscope. And I can remember going there and feeling really proud of myself, because she was just like, oh, looking at the blood. And she was like, She was like, have you got Dutch pots? And I was so proud. I was like, yes, I went to Jamaica and I brought back my Dutch pots. And she was just like, yeah, they're killing you.
Oh, jeez. Oh, gosh. So what's going to happen to me with my curry gut and my oxtail and all them things?
So it's like, so I was like, okay, so I've removed all these things and I'm getting on better, but my blood was congealed. It had bacteria in it. It had parasites in it. I just looked at it and I was like, it was like watching a horror movie. I was like, that's my blood. And she was like, yep. And I was like, I've got to clean it up because I want to have a baby. And so that's where my journey happened. So I started off by changing my cookware, especially so that I wasn't ingesting the heavy metals.
So important.
The heavy metals.
Amazing.
There you go.
Amazing.
Anyway, back to you, Steve.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm messaging my sister right now, like, yo, my girl, you need to lock in, Sharon, sis. If you're listening, you need to listen, like, seriously, because that's a lot.
It's a lot, yeah. But just doing simple things like incorporating more water into your diet. I noticed that Steve has come in and we offered him water and he came in with his glass bottle.
Oh, yeah, for real. I did think
But
to
also,
myself,
it's not. This isn't even. Although it's come in a bottle of mineral water, that's not the water that's in it, because I have distilled water at home. So this is actually filled with my own.
Okay, with your own water,
Yeah.
right.
So that comes with me wherever I.
So basically you're telling us that we shouldn't be drinking water, is that what you're telling us?
No.
Drink water. Hydration is crucial. But
Yeah, but does it have to be...
Not all water is created equal,
That's right.
So what about the running tap water that we get from James?
The government juice?
Let's not get started on that.
Come on, please do.
But this is the whole point of you being on the
Please
show.
do.
You're educating us. This is Black History Month. Hello. Okay. All right, go ahead. Tell us about the water.
So we know it's already been proven and been shown that water, at least tap water, has things like chloride in there, fluoride in there. It's in terms of contaminants, there's a lot that goes on in tap water. Now, one of the reasons why I arrived at the decision to drink distilled water is because when I was deciding on and choosing what type of water, because there's so much information out there in terms of what type of water to drink, I actually did a test on water, because the water I was drinking at the time was alkalized water. Right, and so as far as I was concerned, I was drinking the best
water. Yeah, the best of the
I
best.
was like proud of this water, right? And a friend of mine, we were going through this whole process at the same time, and so he actually picked up a water tester for us to be able to test the water in what they call parts per million. The higher the parts per million, the more contaminated the water is. The lower the parts per million, the cleaner it is, right?
Right.
And so when he tested the tap water came in at like 350 parts per million, which is like extremely high.
That's
right?
a tap water.
That's tap
government
water.
juice.
And then he tested bottled water, which came in at like 250 parts per million, still very, very high.
Mm-hmm.
So then I got him to test my alkaline water, which I was like so
come
proud about. I
So
said, come on, get this thing in
350.
here. Get this thing in here. Come on.
Tell us a number.
250.
Oh, the same.
Wow.
And
Not
I
as
thought,
bad.
and I thought to myself,
You said-
What?
well,
Yeah.
it's meant to be the best, right?
Yeah.
So we bought some distilled water that we then went on to test, and the distilled water flickered between 1 and 0 parts per million. So that was what really made the decision in terms of it's the purest water that you can get. Now, there are going to be people out there who will be listening to this and will say, yeah, but it doesn't have minerals in because it strips everything away. And so there'll be people out there who will say it doesn't have minerals in. Well, my answer to that would be that I definitely do not rely on the water I drink to provide me with my minerals,
Yeah.
right? My minerals come from various sources. So that's not a problem for me if it doesn't have minerals in it, because I'm picking up minerals from other sources. And it's important to pick up minerals that are also being absorbed by the body. So I pick those up through things like, you talked about sea moss earlier.
Sea moss, yeah. Bladder
Tons of minerals.
That's that's my basic diet.
Yeah.
It's every day.
Yeah.
Every day,
But
several
you
times
can
a
use
day.
sea moss like on your face and everything, right, on your body. But they say, is this correct? Whatever you eat, you should be able to apply it in your skin as well.
That's right. You should be able to eat it.
You should be able to eat it. Whatever you put on your skin, you should be able to eat it.
because what's going on your skin is going
inside.
Right?
The
Anyway.
largest organ is your skin.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And people don't take that as, serious as they should do. So, your perfumes, deodorant, fabric conditioner, all that kind of stuff affects you.
I'm going on.
Sorry, Steve.
I'm not needed.
She has taken over the whole show.
not needed.
But she's actually a part of your club, right? She's
I am a fan, Steve.
she's past the interview stage, so she's
Listen,
actually employed
This
now,
is
right?
fantastic. I'm getting more than I bargained for here. This is great.
I've been doing this for a long time now. Yes, seriously, love the information. And once you start learning these things, back to the water. One of the things about the water, because I've never let my children drink government juice, and I was very more concerned for my son because there's so much hormones, especially estrogen, right?
Yeah.
Because you can't break down estrogen. So
But
when it
isn't
goes
estrogen in your chicken and everything as well.
listen,
It's in most.
they're injecting the estrogen into your food anyway. But what happens is females who are taking contraception, the pill, it is estrogen and it doesn't break down. So when you're going to the toilet and you're passing out more of this estrogen, it doesn't come out of the water. It builds up in the water. So when they goes to the plant and they do all the stuff that they do to it, but that is still in there.
And it's quite interesting as we're on the subject of water, because my distiller goes on overnight, and in the morning I go, it's poured into a jar, so it's overnight. I go in the morning and there's a jar full of distilled water. Now, if I were to show you the inside of the distiller and what that looked like, it's horrific. And so that's got to be thoroughly cleaned. And I think to myself, right, if this distiller wasn't distilling this water,
how would you know?
But also what's distilling it? What's
yeah.
filtering it?
And
It's
then
me, right?
Exactly. I was just going to say your body.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Can you imagine all the lime scale and all the stuff that's building up
And so
in
that's
your
the
body?
thing as well, because when I use the distilled water in my kettle, there's no lime scale.
Yeah.
Zero.
Right. So for those who obviously use government water, so if you boil the water,
No.
you can't do that in
no.
a bucket.
No. That's we've been taking that one in from back home over the years. Yeah, no.
You can't
no.
boil the water.
In a make it. In a make it.
You might as well just drink it straight from the tap. Basically, is that what you're saying?
Well, it's not making the difference that we need it to. Let's put it that way. So no.
Wow.
And water, most of us walking around are so dehydrated. We have it can impact us in so many ways. So people have a headache and they reach for a headache pill when actually that is causing even more issues. When drinking some water most of the time would probably get rid of that. You know what I mean? So the impact that water has on us is massive. And as Ms. T is saying, really effectively, as we learn more and more and more about these things, just being more hydrated is going to have an impact.
That's right.
on our blood cells, how they move. Instead of being clogged together, they actually start to flow more just by drinking more water.
Yeah.
So
Gosh.
hydration is key. So one of the things that we're going to be having on as part of the Royal Mogwai Health Club is I'll have a resident health expert. She's phenomenal, Rebecca Briggs. Incredible knowledge base. So she is a black female naturopath who I already refer so many people to her. Incredible knowledge base. And she was the person very much in conjunction with helping me with the lady in the Caribbean. And so she is going to be providing a lot of the information around the what needs to be done and the why it's so important. And then what we'll do is we'll tag on to that, and this will probably be done in podcast form, but we'll tag on to that with the psychotherapist, Michael Adams, as to how this can then be done.
Right.
And so really it's a holistic process in terms of, right, I want to drink more water. This is what the type of water you need to be drinking, why you need to be doing it, and let's now look at how we can incorporate that within your daily life. So we start to look at that. Then we move on to things like nutrition and more exercise and movement. We look at things like meditation, you know, all of these kind of things. So I'll
like
be getting
mindfulness and everything
absolutely.
else. Yeah.
So just taking, how many people actually take time, just 5 or 10 minutes out of the day, just go somewhere, switch off your device, and just have that time to yourself.
Don't worry, they're going to have lots of time soon.
Yeah, because because obviously we had the shutdown with the social media on Monday. How was that for you?
You know something? I'm not a big, I'm not huge on social media. So it wasn't until I was actually doing, I was trying to get a post out on Instagram, and I was feeling, I couldn't understand why it wasn't going through. But if it wasn't for that particular moment at that particular time, it's not something that would have impacted or bothered me. I try my best, as much as I understand and appreciate the use of things like social media and how important it can be. I try to kind of live by the mantra of really using my phone when I need to. I switch it off at a certain time in the evening, and it's off for the rest of the night. It comes on at a certain point in the day, as opposed to just being on all the time.
Yeah.
You know?
People don't even realize that this device kicks out a hell of a lot of radiation.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing.
And some
as well,
people
right?
sleep with it by their head. I'm just like, at least put it on flight mode. Come on.
And that's why mine goes. That's why mine will go off.
I mean, the phone is so addicted. It come like crack. You know, like sometimes. I mean, it really is just like every minute you're picking it up, and it's crazy that you know. It's even like you can go on a train or even just walking down the road, and you just got people just.
Have you seen? Sometimes I'm on when I've been on the train. I've just looked up the carriage and down it, and just looking at
everybody's
I said it to you yesterday. Right?
Yeah.
It's incredible.
I mean, I've been guilty of it, but what I've been doing is like listen to my audio books rather than be on the phone, on a device in that sense. It's more, you know, feeding into my subconscious mind and learning something. So at the moment I'm reading like Dr. Caroline Leaf. I don't know if you're familiar with her. So she deals with the whole like mental health. Okay. She's got a book called Sort Out Your Mental Health Mess. So she's very much talking about, you know, the mental health is not really like a mental health, you know, it's just where your mind is at. And it's just really like just kind of like unlearning certain behaviors or all kinds of mess that's going on inside your mind, and that you can like literally reprogram your mind, you know what I mean? So she talks about all of that. And I've been following her for a little while, but I came off the bandwagon and now I've come back on it. And it's been a great journey because, you know, like I don't know if I've ever shared, but I've been dealing with like some mental health issues.
Okay, no.
So I was in October, was it 2020? Yeah, October 2020. They diagnosed me with borderline personality disorder, whatever, and depression, anxiety. And it's something that I've been struggling with since I was like 14 as a child. And it's mainly to do with like, say, trauma and things like that. But what I've come to realize, especially in this time that we're living in, is how crucial it is to really deal with your mind, how to manage your mind, how to manage your thought process and things like that. So right now, currently, I'm having like cognitive behavior therapy. So I'm having that for like, say, 3 months. And so far, they give me like loads of different tools, how to better manage myself, my mind, and because a lot of the time, and I'm sure a lot of us could really resonate with this, and you that are listening as well, we have like 2 different people in our heads, you know, the real you and the one that's just trying to tell you some lies, yeah? And I'm always in listening to that dominating thought of what I'd been told from being a child, you know, not good enough, not this, not that. So you can clearly see this thread of how my life has been because of that thing being said, and I've actually incorporated that to become me, which is not the real me. So when you're sharing in regards to the specialist who deals with the mental mind, that would be somebody I would be very much interested in speaking with.
Yeah, he's. I mean, you know, he is phenomenal. And there's also, I mean, there are a range of therapies. Yeah, it's great that you are using CBT. And let me just first of all just say, Kaz, that I didn't realize that when I've seen you, whether that be in the gym or outside of that, it's not something that I would have ever imagined.
So you haven't seen me with my moody face?
No, not at all.
Okay,
so
all right.
it's, you know, so listen, I'll commend you again, because for sharing that, but also the awareness that you have of all that's going on.
Yeah.
Are you aware of or ever heard of a therapy called EFT, emotional freedom therapy, or emotional freedom technique? They use both.
No.
So
Miss T
That's
looks
happened.
like.
yes.
I told you. Oh no, I was talking to my friend
Oh,
last
is
night.
that?
Yes.
Is that what?
The tapping. So
Tapping.
on your meridian lines. So you can just.
Yes, somebody else was telling me, but and
Right.
you
so
told me
I
somebody
also
else.
suffer with anxiety.
Yeah.
I have done from when I was a child, and sometimes I just realise that I'm not even breathing. That I will get so, and I'm like, you're not breathing. Breathe. So probably about a year ago, a sister said to me, try tapping, and I was like, what is that? So she sent me a few videos, and I've been happily tapping away for ages.
Now I'm tapping.
So
Amazing. Amazing.
And it's fantastic that you know you've heard of it and aware of it. But one of my partners is phenomenal with that, and one of the things that she does is she's a naturopath and specializes in using tapping. And one of the areas obviously that she covers that deals with things like depression and anxiety. But what I think is really great about this is it's not just about going and receiving the treatment and therapy. It's the fact that she teaches you how to do it.
Yeah, it's application.
You learn to do it, and therefore you're able to apply it to yourself.
Yeah, because that's what I'm actually getting the tools through CBT is the application.
Fantastic.
Because sometimes, you know, like we had this conversation yesterday, right, Miss T, and it was so, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? It was so comforting to be able to speak to somebody else that kind of got it. Because I create some stories in my head. Like literally, I create a whole movie.
See,
You could just say something. Like I've had an experience so many times with people, and you could say to me, oh, but you could have just put that on. And in my head is, that looks really shit and that didn't look nice. I created a whole story and you didn't say that. All you said is, maybe you could have put on this, but I'm just taking it on board. He doesn't like me in that. He doesn't think I look nice. And he said it like this and blah, 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 blah. And then that's going on for a whole 6 hours, maybe going on to the following day. And you don't even know that's going on in my head. And then the moods change.
Yeah.
And then it's creating a tension and a whole vibration. Energy's off and
Yeah. I mean, I'm also, you know, people are so often placed in these boxes, right? So when I hear someone, I've in the last, I'd say 3 or 4 weeks, I think you are the third or fourth person that has told me that either they have or they know of someone who has been diagnosed as having a personality disorder in some kind of.
It's like it's easy for them to just say that.
You know, you're placed in this box because without a name or a box, well, how do they then treat you? Right, so there has to be some kind of name or some kind of box almost, and to a certain degree, I think I have an issue with that sometimes, in as much as looking at the individual rather than just broadly giving this some kind of name. And I think it's also worth pointing out as well, Kaz, that we can talk about what is deemed the negative or downside of whatever it is that you experience, but there's going to be an upside to that because I arrived here today. I saw, as I said, some of the footage of the last show, and I've been seeing some of the stuff you do. The creativity that you have is on another level, right? To what I would class as the average person, and so there's this. We have to put this in perspective, you know, as well. We can always focus on and look at what the downside is to that, but there is definitely and you know, an upside of what I think you should also be thinking about and be focusing on.
That's interesting.
We have got a question and a comment. So Charlie in the chat room has said, big up Derek's friends. They literally saved his life. That they did. And also the next question is for you, Steve. Where does Steve get his, where does he get his distiller from? Is it easy to purchase?
Yeah, that's a great question.
So thank you. Who asked that question?
Charlie.
Great question, Charlie. So one of the things that the Neuro-McKoy has done, as well as partnering with health professionals and individuals who support chronic conditions, like I said, we've gone a stage further as well. So we've partnered with companies who provide some of the products. So when I started to use the distiller, one of the things that I did was I approached the distillation company and I explained to them who I was and what it was I was doing, and that I'd like to be able to provide a discount to to my members who come on board. They were very, very happy to be involved in that. And so one of the things that I'm very happy to do is to let Charlie have that information so that he can know the company that I use, but also I can pass on the additional discount that he can then use. So yeah, the company is called Mega Home Distillers, but I can also pass on
Charlie's a lady.
You see what I did there?
Yep. You assume.
See what I did there?
At 5:57.
See what I did there? So sorry, Charlie.
It's okay. But she was very happy with your answer.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. Fantastic.
That's amazing. I think, so roughly what's the kind of price range, or does it vary depending on the size?
Yeah, I mean, they come in at about £150, then I think minus the discount 10 or 15%. So that's something that I'll be happy to let you guys have to pass on to Charlie. But yeah, so and for that you then have you need to buy filters, use one a month, and they cost £12 for a box of 12. There you go.
Okay, so if you need to get that information, can they connect with you directly on your social media handle?
Absolutely. So the Raw McKoy on Instagram is probably the best way.
Yeah. Okay, so guys, the time is now 5:58. Do not go anywhere because we're going to go into a short break. But until then, we're going to listen to this little bit of Everything is Everything with Lauryn Hill.
After winter, must come spring. Change it comes eventually. Everything is everything. What is meant to be will be. Understand that everything is everything. After winter, must come spring. Change it comes eventually. I wrote these words for everyone who struggles in their youth, who won't accept deception instead of what is true. Gotta know the truth. It seems we lose the game before we even start to play. Not our game. Who made these rules? We're so confused. Easily.
Listening to iLive Radio, changing the way you listen to radio. iLive Radio.
This is Blaze, and you're listening to iLive Radio, changing the way you listen to radio.
What up, though? This is your girl, Coco St. James, hailing all the way from Detroit, Michigan, USA, and you're listening to iLive Radio, changing the way you listen to music.
This is Angela Johnson, and you're listening to iLive Radio, changing the way you listen to radio.
Are you looking for that feel-good music? The kind of music that makes you want to share with your friends? Then you've been looking for iLive Radio, your #1 source for music lovers worldwide, playing a variety of hits from soul, reggae, gospel, jazz, hip-hop, funk, and everything in between. Download the iLive Radio app now and listen to us when you're on the go. Available on iTunes and the Google Play Store. You can also listen live on TuneIn and Alexa. iLive Radio, changing the way you listen to radio.
This is Zims, and I'm inviting you to join me for choir practice every Monday, 7 to 8 p.m. on iLive UK. Choir practice will be bringing you music from a variety of groups, choirs, and solo artists, everything from Mississippi Mass Choir to House Gospel Choir. So join me Mondays, 7 to 8 p.m. on iLive UK. Told you I was coming.
Works with V Swizzle. She's a hip-hop geek influenced by Dilla Beats. Tune into her show each and every Monday, 8 till 10 p.m. on iLive Radio UK, where the vibe is funky, chunky beats interwoven with lost funk hits for sound innovation. This is Lightworks with V Swizzle on iLive Radio UK.
Tune in to JC's Progressive Soul every Monday, 10 till midnight with me, JC. Playing the best in soul and soulful hip-hop, from the classic to the rare, blended with the neo and progressive, celebrating legends past and present. That's JC's Progressive Soul, every Monday, 10 p.m. till midnight.
We're starting up, now we're on our way.
Hi, I'm DJ Illusion. Join me every Tuesday between 7 and 9 p.m. UK time, right here on iLive Radio with The Flashback Show, changing the way you listen to music.
Yeah, iLive Radio.
The Flashback Show, across the World Wide Web.
iLive Radio.
The days when the nights we
Yo. Remember to look into the Marvelous Show every Wednesday, 7 till 9. Well, I'll be playing R&B, hip-hop, bashment, garage, you name it, some of the old school classics. And I'll also be bringing you some new stuff as well. So you know what to do. Look in the Marvelous Show till 9. Yeah, look in the Marvelous Show Wednesdays. iLive Radio.
iLive UK want to hear from you. You can get involved by calling us on 0208 638 8503, or you can send a WhatsApp message, text only, to 07 564 265 257. You can watch us live on YouTube and Mixcloud, and whenever you miss a show, you can listen back via Apple and Google Podcasts. Don't forget to download our iLive Radio Network app from the Google Store and take us on the road with you. It's iLive UK across all platforms, changing the way you listen to radio.
You're listening to iLive Radio.
iLive Radio.
iLive Radio.
Changing the way you listen to radio.
This is Now Chat Show on iLive UK.
Keys made this one.
I have been shaped and molded from the woman made so perfectly. Rise and tell yourself this life was made for me. This life will take and shake you, break you even mentally. If you don't rise in flesh, how you will learn eventually. Shape and molded from the woman made so perfectly. Rise and tell yourself this life was made for me. This life will take and shake you, break you even mentally. If you don't rise in flesh, how you will learn eventually. No clear examples to a people who have never faced oppression. No remorse for your acts of transgression. Privileged, but you don't know what it is. So how did I get wrapped up in this ball of negative energy? Every day, them benefit the economy from mystery of slavery. There is no justice made for me. From slaughtering to bartering, demonized, criticized and targeted in a system full of victims inflicting self-hatred and murdering. Open eyes, realize them not like you, them despise you. How many years them I build these tools with rules that take away from your values? Clear to me, scared of me. Oh gosh, it burns for you to see how you live in a black skin, breathing in a world you don't really want to be. Shape and molded from the woman made so perfectly. Rise and tell yourself this life was made for me. This life will take and shake you, break you even mentally. If you no rise in flesh, how you will learn eventually. Shape and mold it from the woman made so perfectly. Rise and tell yourself this life was made for me. This life will take and shake you, break you even mentally. If you no rise in flesh, how you will learn eventually. You see this world we live within. Research the power of my skin. The pigment of my flesh has housed the blood of many kings and queens. But history that's told to me would never come and show to me what's owed to me, because your racism is a marketing tool. Them are building a classism school where the rich get fucked from delegation in a world they claim is overfull. Blackness is lonely and shrouded in a misery. If you not love the life you live and speak of all its glory. Shape and mold it from the woman made so perfectly. Rise and tell yourself this life was made for me. This life will take and shake you, break you even mentally. If you no rise in flesh, how you will learn eventually. Shape and mold it from the woman made so perfectly. Rise and tell yourself this life was made for me. This life will take and shake you, break you even mentally. If you no rise in flesh, how you will learn eventually.
This is Now Chat Show on iLive UK. Wow. Big tune. Yeah, man, that's a track and a half, right?
I think somebody should be calling now.
So what you saying, sis?
So, that track.
I was feeling that track all right bad now, but you know what? The time is now 7 minutes past the hour of 6, guys. Oh, we've got a caller.
We have.
Okay. Hello, caller. You are through to Now Chat Show live on iLive UK. Please introduce yourself.
Blessed and sanctified, I am Bingy speaking.
Bingy, you know we just played your track. What good timing is that? You was listening. Oh, so you felt sweet, don't?
I really do, because I love promotion of that kind, especially when it's lovely empress. So give thanks.
Fabulous. Can you speak up into your mic for me, please? Because we want to hear you, Bingy.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear Bingy. I can hear him.
You can hear him. It's a bit low for me.
All right, let me just turn down your track a little bit, Bingy.
So the track is called Higher, Made Perfectly. This is a banger, Bingy.
Tell us about the track, Bingy.
Well, me and one of people was speaking one night, and we was watching how white people are quite privileged, that's how they move. But we watched a shocking documentary on how they didn't even realize something.
Sorry, can you say that again? Can you start from the top? Sorry, we had a fan going on and it just had a little interference. Sorry.
That's absolutely fine. So to be honest, we had reasoning, me and one of Serena's people one night, and the reasoning was about white people. And we happened to speak. And when we spoke, it was one of those crazy situations that we started to watch a video. And the video we watched was showing us that white people were actually ignorant to the understanding that they're privileged. So for me, this was my biggest inspiration for the track, to speak to them, to let them know, do you know why I get so distressed? I don't actually have a chip on my shoulder. I actually want you to realize and be educated that you have the actual chip, because you're privileged and you don't even accept it and you take it for granted. And then you throw it in people's face and try to distribute your false power. So that was my main inspiration behind the song, if I'll be honest.
Wow. Well, so are you a lyricist? Like, do you write music, or, are you an artist yourself, or tell us a bit about you?
Yeah, that would be the best thing that I would love to call myself. I'm a lyricist.
Right.
It's a form of poetry. It's a form of expression. But I happen to love music just as a child, and somehow I am able to fit my word onto the music. So yes, you can call me an artist as well, because I have a repertoire. Now my repertoire goes quite far back, so I'd show my age if I start to speak about my history and where it started from. Yeah. So from 1997, you can say that my career was shaped in Jamaica.
Right.
So to be honest, in the whole understanding of where I come from, Ayabingi is an artist, it's a brand, it's already been distributed. So to be honest, my artistry thing, I more put to the side, because my big promotion is more for my sons, who are the greatest gift right now when it comes down to music. And they will definitely be showcased to you. But so far, yeah, lyricist is the best thing you could call me.
Love it, love it, love it.
Fabulous.
So how are you finding the show so far? Are you finding the reasoning great with Steve McKoy, the Raw McKoy?
I find it wonderful, but to be honest, I found that the story about the naturopath was very inspirational. That was quite a story. Yeah, so for me, it was enlightening to hear those things, because people have these glory stories, but sometimes, you know, they're fabricated, whereas, you know, these things are coming from a real source, because I happen to know many people that have spoken a story about a naturopath as well, and their results are always amazing. So it's good that you've got people that are sharing these things, and it's good that you've got a forum that you're putting it out on. So praises be and glory to you.
Big up
so
to iLive UK.
Yes, bless them up.
Big up Now Chat Show.
Yeah. Big up yourself. You as well.
Hey, Bingy, how do you feel about doing a little dub for us?
A dub when?
Just, you know, well, iLive UK are having the Soul Fest on Wednesday the 13th.
With live band and everything.
Live band. I think that we should just come down and just
jam.
You know?
Jamming.
To be honest, I'm called EIB, which is called Ever Ready Ayabingi.
Hey. Yo.
So just to please the crowd, I will do this because I love when people have a nice time. And if I can inspire a nice time, I'll be happy to do that.
All right then.
At the same time.
So make sure you get your free ticket, Eventbrite, yeah?
I will, and I expect a few more freebies because I'm going to be a guest artist. So to be treated like a king amongst the queens, then would be lovely.
Hey, that's standard. Come
Listen, yo, Steve, tell them how you'll get treated. Tell let Bingy know say you'll get treated like king right now.
Definitely cannot dispute that for a moment. Let me just say, big up to you and your track. I've been vibing to it as well, my friend. So listen, yes, much love, my brother.
Bless you. Give thanks, my brother. Well done. Give thanks.
All right, big up yourself, Bingy. Hopefully we'll see you next week, Wednesday, yeah?
Yep.
You will do if God's spirit and life. Bless you. I may, if I can get my sons to come out, show you the highlight of what we're really pushing. Because like I say, I will always give people the pleasure of doing music, but the serious focus is on my sons. So they're really what's going to be out there and pushing for now.
How old are your sons? What's their age?
And their names?
One of them is 21 and one of them is 19, and they are one take and angles, or show you the angle is his full one. So they're very, very talented. Well, past talent, they're gifted.
They're gifted.
So
Love that.
I give thanks. Yeah. So I'll see if I can corral them to get them out. If not, I'll bring a track for you to be able to play and preview of the two of them.
Okay, cool. Alrighty.
Fabulous.
All right, Bingy, send out them, yeah?
Well, thank you for your time, wonderful empresses, and keep up the good work. And bless you, King, over there in the corner as well. Bless
Many
you,
thanks, my brother.
family.
Likewise.
All right, bless up
Manners
yourself.
and respect. Give thanks to the moment, guys. Blessed love.
Blessed
All right, blessed
love,
love.
King. Bye.
Bye-bye now.
I love it when we get callers, you know. It's just such...
It's
It's
nice.
really nice, isn't it? But you know what? This is the time where we always ask a guest, yeah, to select 3 of their favourite tracks. Now, Steve, we're going to play one of your tracks. Now, under me right now, we're listening to Buju Banton, Blessed, yeah? But we are going to go over to something like this because we want to switch up the place because...
Them crazy. We're gonna chase those crazy ballets out of town. Chase those crazy ballets out of town.
This is Now Chat Show on iLive UK.
Didn't my people before me slave for this country? Now you look me with a scorn, then you heat up all my corn. We're gonna chase those crazy, I'm crazy. Chase those crazy ballets out of town. Steady little bit, step, stop, step, till you don't stop. Start a little,
Yeah. Vinyl, it's just keep on just, you know, like, you know, when the needle need cleaning, that's what we're dealing with. Vinyl, you get me? I'm lying, guys. It's just jumping. I don't even know what to say. But okay, so Crazy Ballad. Tell to us why Bob Marley Crazy Bald. I don't even know why I'm even saying, but we're gonna ask you anyway. Why Crazy Bald?
Okay, I'll tell you why. When I was 11 years old, myself and my mother moved to Jamaica.
Oh, which part?
Manchester.
All right.
So I went to school there, and that was part of my life, my upbringing. But the Bob Marley album, Rastaman Vibrations, was the first album that I ever bought, and I remember bringing that album to Jamaica with me. And this track was a track, Crazy Ballers, that I would be playing. And so when I was asked to come up with my 3 tracks, what I did was I came up with 3 tracks that were iconic to me at different stages of my life, and this was 11 years old. Yeah, it was a huge thing for me, moving to another country and all that meant, and what Bob Marley meant at the time. And so yeah, Bob had to get a mention.
Come on.
Big and bad.
All right,
Bob.
so we're going to go into the next track, yeah? We're going to go into our next track. I love this, I love this. Like, seriously, guys, I can't even explain. Big up yourself, Debs. I see you.
Sure as the sun will shine, I'm gonna get
Jimmy Cliff, The Harder They Come. Oh my gosh. I remember that movie, but why The Harder They Come? Jimmy Cliff.
Still vibing. What a tune. Thank you.
So why this track?
Why Jimmy Cliff?
Yeah.
Right. So there's a story behind this. So going back probably about 12 years ago now, I had been on, let me just say that for a few years, myself and friends, one thing that we would do every year, we would travel to a different part of the world, but it had to be a part of the world that had a carnival going on.
Yeah.
So we'd always be going to different carnivals around the world. That was our thing. And yeah, so we enjoyed that.
So they got Trinidad and why
Trinidad did all of that. Yeah. We did all
right,
that, right? And so we went to all these different carnivals every year, which was a different carnival. And one of the carnivals that we went to was in Brazil.
Mm-hmm. Rio.
So went to Rio, but also we then went to a carnival in Salvador. Salvador is more like the Notting Hill Carnival because Carnival in Salvador is like Notting Hill Carnival on steroids. 7 days.
Oh, jeez, on steroids.
7 days. It doesn't end right through the night, but it's a week long.
Wow.
It's crazy. So we went there and we had a great time and stuff. But I went back a few years later and said to myself, I love this place. It was Salvador, for people who don't know, Salvador in Brazil is a place where all the slaves who came into Brazil, they came into Salvador.
Right.
So it is 70% black. It is very Afrocentric. It has an incredible spirit and vibe about it. And I decided after going there a couple of times that this is a place where I wanted to spend half of my time. So I decided that I was going to spend half my time in Brazil, half my time in London, right? And it's a beach town. Whenever it's winter time in London, it's summertime there. So I thought that's the balance that I'm going to find. And do you guys remember a program called A Place in the Sun? It's still around now.
Yeah.
One of my favorite programs.
Okay. So There's an American version of that called House Hunters.
Yes.
And they're called House Hunters International, right? So House Hunters International, they found out that I was going to be moving from, at least part of the time, from London to Brazil. And they made contact via a few people, and they actually did a program about. So there's a program that I've done, which is like A Place in the Sun, and it features me moving from London to Brazil. And the reason why I'm telling this story and how it links into the whole Jimmy Cliff thing is because in Salvador, Brazil, Jimmy Cliff is huge.
Right.
He is massive. So much so that he lived there for a while. He had a house there. He had a daughter there, right?
So I have woman over there, basically.
But also the woman who was the producer of the program House Hunters International was Khadija Cliff, his daughter.
Oh.
So when she found out that a Jamaican was going to be going to Brazil, to Salvador, she made sure the program happened with me.
Yeah.
So she really pushed it for it to happen.
That is so amazing.
So we had these conversations, and she was like, "I really want this to happen because you're like my dad who went from Jamaica to, and she really wanted to make it happen. She made it happen. And so when I was choosing that a time or a track that was going to be iconic for me, Jimmy Cliff had to kind of make that top three, and because it featured a time in my life where I spent a lot of time in Brazil. So I was there. I ended up having a bar there and a restaurant, and I have a home there. I still have a home there in Brazil.
So you speak good Spanish then?
Portuguese.
Portuguese.
So
That's harder.
Oh, it is very, very difficult language. Yeah, but that's the link between Jimmy Cliff and me.
Oh. Love it. Okay, so we're going to move on because time is now 6:22 and we still got competition and everything to go through. So we're going to go to your next track, which is Stay, Jodeci.
First of all, I have to be honest with you, baby. I lied when I told you I never want to see you again. Can you? Please stay, babe. Just for tonight, and maybe we can do something like make love, watch the sunrise, or listen to
This
JoJo.
is Now Chat Show on iLive UK.
Slide class, baby. Let the Devontae tell you. Oh, you feel so sexy, so good.
Okay, so this is a moment where people might be just stopping and making babies and all that. Jean, I see you. Ooh. I see you. Okay, all right. So talk to us, Jodeci. Stay.
Get that fan again.
Ooh, yeah.
The heat.
Let's cool down.
Woo! Cool down.
Talk to us, Steve.
So
Talk to us.
when Kaz, you said to me, look, choose your 3 tracks, and back in the day you might have been a sound man, and it got me thinking because I was right. And
what sound was you in?
Pleasure Road Show.
I heard. The little birdie did tell me.
Big up to the Pleasure Road Show
Tanya,
crew.
thanks for the information because we did used to go to some of those. Did you not have an event in Wilson Sports Centre?
Absolutely.
Yes, I was there.
Ooh.
Yes, I was a very young person.
And so this track was a huge track, massive track for us, and definitely for me. And some of the dancing I just saw Kaz putting down in the studio.
Yes, brought back memories.
Brought back some big memories,
Just
Kaz.
in case you want to know what kind of dancing I was doing, it was just what we call, what do you call that kind of dancing?
Illegal.
Illegal? No, I didn't know it to be called illegal because that means a lot of people was doing a lot of illegal things at your winner show.
It was extremely seductive.
Really? Okay. I didn't know anything like that. But anyway, I thought it was Zumba. But anyhow.
You'd have a queue of people playing for Zumba, yeah.
My turn.
Okay, so you was a DJ and...
Well, actually, my boys were DJing. We organised this and structured this in a way. Pleasure Roadshow was born out of the fact that one of my friends, one of my best friends, he went to university in Indiana University in America. And when I went out there to stay with him while he was actually in university, so I was staying with him and we were going to. You remember when Spike Lee did that movie with the fraternities and sororities?
Yeah.
What was that movie?
I know
Dear
the
White
movie.
People.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Because this is. Oh, I know the movie that you're talking about, bruv. Like I know the because he done do the right thing. Whoever knows it, call in 0208 638 8503. What was that Spike Lee movie where they did an old sorority and it was like in Harvard University, all of that kind of stuff?
Remember.
Phone in because we kind of like having a bit of a memory block. I think we're showing our age slightly. Well, not me. Maybe. Okay, so I think we need to do a little competition. What do you think? Because what is the prize? What is the Raw McCoy actually sponsored in?
Hold on, everybody. Let me get my glasses on.
You're going to get your glasses on, are you, love? Because, this is a great competition, and I just want to see who's going to win. Because if nobody doesn't win, Steve, I would like to be, nominated to get it. I don't think Miss T should get it because she's moving quite slow over there.
Right. Okay. So.
Oh, hold on a second.
That's for the. They want to know about the thing.
Hello, caller. Do introduce yourself.
Yeah, blessed love is Aya Bingi.
What Aya Bingi? So the competition never.
School days.
School days. Thank you. At least we have a faithful caller that's listening in and gave us the answer. Thank you. There is no prize just yet. But you know what? Anyway, call back because you might win the prize.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, you might win the prize. You might. All right.
Problem.
All right. In a bit.
So
I think he's going to win the prize.
Just bearing in mind that because of the nature of what the Raw McCoy is about in helping, supporting, empowering people, either themselves or a loved one with some kind of chronic illness, that's what the gift, the prize is based around. So it's hopefully to help someone who
I'm
really,
sure
really needs
it.
Yeah.
Right. So don't just phone in with intention, basically, that you're going to help either for yourself or for somebody else. So
Okay, I
if you
found
wanna,
it. Sorry, everybody.
It's okay, you're forgiven.
Thank you. So, the competition prize is a free 45-minute consultation with Steve for someone or a loved one who has recently been diagnosed with a chronic health condition. They will be provided with a specific bespoke plan of action they can begin immediately. They will be referred to the health specialist who can help them with their condition. So they will pay a special Raw McCoy discounted rate to the health specialist. The Raw McCoy, you will receive unlimited phone call coach. Are you sure unlimited?
For the month of October.
For the month of October. Not for life, guys. Not for life.
Yeah. So as they progress through whatever that condition is, one thing I realized, having done this a number of times, is that people often they've got questions they want to ask, they need some kind of support, and generally it's a level of accountability as well. So they have someone who they can check in with just to make sure that things stay on track. And I'm happy to be that person for the month of October and beyond if needed.
You're a great buddy. Thank you.
All right, so thank you so much. We are going to be opening the phone lines in a moment, but we are going to go straight into the question. So this is the hour you guys have been waiting for. This is the game. Are you going to be the winner or not? So the first question is, what year did Steve start a health club? Was it in 1998, 2001, or was it in 2019? The second part of the question to the competition. Who said this statement? The first wealth is health. Was it Maccabee, Steve McKoy, or Ralph Waldo Emerson? Phone lines are open now, guys. Good luck, and don't all phone in all at once. The number is 0208 638 8503. This could be you. I'll repeat those questions for you just in case you need to clean your ears a little bit. So the question was, what year did Steve start the health club? Was it in 1998, or was it in the year 2001, or was it in 2019? And the second part of the question for the competition, who said this statement? The first wealth is health. Was it Maccabee? Was it Steve McKoy? Or was it Ralph Waldo Emerson? Please do get in contact with the studio. The phone lines are open. The number is 0208 638 8503. The winner could be you. Until then, we are going to go into one of these tracks, and this is going out for Jean, who beated me up at the gym this morning.
This is a dream, don't make me wait. If this is a dream, don't make me wait. If this is a dream, don't make me wait.
This is Now Chat Show on iLive UK.
Hello.
Hello, caller. Who do we have on the phone line?
Yeah, it's Shane.
Sorry?
It's Shane.
Hey, Shane. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well. So are you phoning in regards to the competition, Shane?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so we're going to go for the first question. What year did Steve start his health club? Was it in 1998, 2001, or was it in 2019?
2019.
Okay. Well done. Second part of the question. So who said this statement? The first wealth is health. Was it Maccabee, Steve McKoy, or was it Ralph Waldo Emerson?
Was it Maccabee?
Did you say Maccabee?
Yeah.
You know what? Gosh. But you got it wrong.
Yeah,
all right, do you want to... All right, we'll give you another chance. You got the first part of the question, right? Right? Hello?
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah,
was it Maccabee? Which you know it wasn't. Was it Steve McKoy? Was it Ralph Waldo Emerson?
Ralph? Was it Ralph?
Did you say Ralph?
Yes.
Did you say Ralph?
He did say Ralph.
Oh my gosh!
Hey!
Oi.
Well done! Big up man like
Shane!
Big up yourself. You feel good, don't?
Don't?
I feel good, yes I do.
You do feel good. Go on, because you should feel good, King. So how you finding the show so far?
Yeah, I like it. It's interesting, very interesting.
Oh, thank you for tuning in.
Informative. I'm liking both of you and Miss T.
Oh, thank you.
I notice how you say him like, you know, Miss T, you know, it look like, yeah, that admiring thing, you get me? I'm just saying, I'm just slightly hating out here, slightly like, anyway, but in order for you to get out your prize, I think the best thing for you to do is to connect with Steve directly. Are you following him on Instagram?
I'm not on Instagram at the moment.
Oh, you're not on Instagram. Okay, so if you want to take down this email address, are you in a position to take down this information?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you can send us an email to info at now, NOW, chatshow.co.uk.
Okay.
Yeah? All right, so if you send an email, just let us know, and then we will connect you with Steve, and then we get everything started. I mean, would this be for yourself, or would this be for somebody that you know has got a chronic illness?
Yeah, it'll be for my auntie.
I'll be for your auntie. Amazing. Wonderful. Thank you so much for tuning in, and make sure you're following us on all our, well, you just said you don't do Instagram, do you? You don't do social media?
No, but you're watching live now today.
So how are you watching it? Are you watching us live, or are you listening?
I'm watching you on the internet on my laptop.
Oh, see? Okay. All right. Big up
even
yourself.
better.
Big up yourself. All right. Well done once again.
Thank you.
All right. You have a wonderful weekend, okay?
Take care, Shane.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Bless up. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, that was beautiful. Lovely Shane giving us a call in.
2 guys phoning in.
I
I don't
know,
think he was
right?
supposed to call in, but 2 men.
One
one Friday.
Yeah, listen.
There's a lot about you guys. Right?
Mate, I think it's Miss T, you know, because everyone just seems to be focused on Miss T. Maybe it's them lipstick that she's got on. I'm going to wear
What?
red next week. Watch.
I wear red because of you, Kaz.
Listen, I'm wearing red lipstick. I'm not doing the nude lips next week. I'm wearing red because I want to get some kind of notification.
Okay, I'll do
by
nude
others.
next week, okay?
No, you don't do nude. Just do your red. I'm just hating slightly. Gosh. Goodness. Okay, so Steve, the show is about you now.
Back to you, Steve.
Back to you, Steve. So what's up next for the Roy McCoy?
Well, as we've discussed, really, that I'm working hard behind the scenes to develop and launch this early next year. So I'm going to be working between now and throughout the next few months with a view of launching at the beginning of February. It'd be great if you guys are having a show in January where I'd maybe be able to put back and be able to explain where it's at and just really be able to explain to your listeners where we're at and what it is we're actually doing, because there's going to be some great things happening, I think, in terms of us being able to support and empower a lot of people. So that's the whole idea behind it. So really, as I said, between now and February, working hard behind the scenes to get things ready with a view of launching at the beginning of February. So that's the plan.
It's exciting times.
Wicked. And I love that, the fact that you said January as well, because that's a time where people seem to be a lot more health conscious as well within themselves. All of a sudden, everyone's got all these new, what you call it?
I don't say that word.
Yeah. And they don't really, my thing is just start now.
Innit?
Just start now. If you want to go gym, if you want to lose weight, start now.
There's no time like the present. Be in the now.
For real, because January, sorry to say, and I don't want to be the person to say it, but we just don't know. Tomorrow might not even be guaranteed. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So start with the intention of for today. Be in the present.
Love that.
Well done. That was beautiful. Poetic.
Oh gosh,
Yes.
girl. I need to get my fan. And no, I don't have menopause. I'm too young for that. I'm still looking to have a child and a man and all of that stuff. Yeah, I'm just putting it out there. You never know who might be listening. My future king may be listening and say, "Yeah, she look all right." Yeah,
manifest.
Manifesting. Remember with the first track that we played?
Oh my gosh, yeah, we was manifesting money. So money's come already, and now we have manifested love and children and all of that and above. Yes, so how can our listeners, our viewers, how can they connect with you, Steve? I know you gave us the information again, just in case anybody's just tuned in. How can they connect with you?
So definitely on Instagram, The Raw McCoy, and that's RAWMCKOY. So The Raw McCoy on Instagram. But also, if they go to therawmccoy.info, they will be able to register their details for the Royal McCoy Health Club. So as it launches, I'll have some special offers, and we'll be able to get them signed up and involved in that. So the royalmccoy.info and the Royal McCoy on Instagram.
Wicked. Love that. Okay, so right now we've got Jade playing underneath us. But I think I'm going to just switch it up because I want people to, this is a drive time, and I know we've been deep in conversations and everything else, but you know what? Who likes things like this? Because not Oris. Yeah, you know what? One for the money. I wasn't actually going to play that, but anyway, it looks like it's playing itself. This is Now Chat Show on iLive UK.
And brighten up the place. Fresh in the mix and we do it like this.